Hello everybody, here's Etienne from Svideco, Dashboard as a Service for Internet of Things and Connected Systems. Today I'm going to show you how you can display some data on a map using DGLux 5, which is the technology used by Svideco. So often you've seen on dashboards information such as this, where you have a map and then some point with data. So it's a case here, it's a case as well here in this other map where we have different data displayed. So I'm going to show you how this is happening inside DGLux 5, and we'll see how easy it is. I'll use this opportunity as well to present some specific concept to be used inside the system, the concept of symbol and the concept of repeat. So let's get started. I have my session of DGLux here, in which I already introduced a Mapbox application here. So you have different options for mapping. You have Google Map, Mapbox, S3. The mechanic is pretty much always the same. I use Mapbox here because it's quite easy and good for such an example. So how it's working? So you have your Mapbox things here, and what you are seeing, so you need to enter an API key, choose your map style, and then looking below you have this section, repeater, where you need to do what? You need to first include a symbol, some data, and define where is latitude and longitude. So first the symbols, that's what you're going to use to show the information on the map. So I will need to do that. So let's get started. From my stage I will add a group inside which I will just put for now an image. So I have this image added. I will go in my library of assets to select an image which I find adapted. So I think this bell will do perfectly fine. I'll just drag and drop it up. So I have it here. I have my bell appearing here. I may just reduce its size a little bit because it's quite big right now. I'll just put it 40. I think this would be the best. This one I will make it just fit the group. Here it is. So I have my small bell, and what I'm gonna do, I'm going to convert it to symbol. Up. I will call it bell. Up. Now I can just delete it if I want. Up. I get back to my map and I write that I want to use this symbol as a way to show the data on my map. So I'm just clicking bell like this. Next stage, now I need to find the data. So you will see that when you open your Mapbox, you already have some kind of sample data here, which I will show just for example with a few cities. So what you just need to do is connect the table to the data like this, and then write what will be the latitude and longitude column in your table. So in this specific case it's easy, it's latitude and longitude. So I'm just going to write it, latitude, longitude, up, and what we see is that right away the data started getting displayed here. So if I zoom, I can see really well the 4 locations. So there's three in San Francisco, 2 in San Francisco, and one here. So here we have. So good, so that's the first stage. So we see the mechanic is working. Second stage, I don't want to display just this random data. I want to display some data which is useful. So here I prepared a connection with the database of earthquakes. So basically it's a database where anytime there is an important earthquake happening on Earth, it creates a record where you have the magnitude and different type of information. So I'm going to use that. How I'm going to do this? So I open my data flow here and I do right click and I have this get all, which is usually available on this type of data. I'm drag and dropping it here, and I see that if I'll just invoke once, I have my table with all information. Latitude and longitude are here again the column I'm interested in. So if I just up drag and connect the output here, I should have a small bell on every single point of earthquake here. Here, that's what I see. So we see we have everything. Something I see here is that I have really a lot of such alarms. So I may not want to have all of them displayed in the map because it lags a bit, and it's probably not the best thing to do now. So what I'm going to do here, I'm getting back to my data flow, and I will add a small filter to select the rows I'm interested in. So there is a specific thing called filter, table filter. I'm getting my input here, and I will put a condition. I will put a condition on magnitude to make sure I get only the biggest one. So I will say that I want magnitude to be over 3 to be displayed. And here we are, and I will keep only the biggest earthquake appearing here. Here we are. It should... sorry, and once again, I need to reconnect the table from the Mapbox, from this exit table up here. And now I'm done, and I stay with only the most important earthquake. Good. So that's first stage of displaying data. Now we're gonna go a bit more specific, editing the symbol of bell. So let's say we want to display for each of the bell the magnitude inside the bell as a number. How we are going to do that? First, we would need to make sure that inside the symbol we have the information on the magnitude. So how I'm doing that, I go on the renderer, right click, and I will edit the properties of the symbol. And part of these properties, I want the magnitude. So I will add a number, which is what I'm interested in. I'm calling it magnitude. And inside this bell, for now I have just an image. I will add as well a small text here, which I'm going to center. Actually, it's here. I need to put it. I put it in the center like this, up and like this. So I have it right here. Good. And I'm going to connect the magnitude amount to the text. So that's what I want to display. For now there is nothing because I did not do the full connection, but this should work. So I'm clicking this, I apply it, and already actually it works automatically because I think it created, when I go here, it automatically found that there is a column called magnitude actually in the table. So it did the connection without even asking for more details. So I already have my small bells with the magnitude inside. I can go a bit further in terms of display if I want to have some kind of color connection between the magnitude and the bell. So to display more better when the earthquake is more important. So to do that, maybe I will create a connection between my magnitude and actually the background color here. So how I'm doing that? First, I'm opening the symbol, the properties of the symbol, and I'm going to do the drag and drop between magnitude and the background color of my item. So for this, and I need to press the control when I'm doing that so that I have this kind of thing appearing. I will make a gradient going from 3, let's say, to 8, and this gradient, it will start. So at the beginning I want this, it will be white with opacity of 0, so basically no background, and when it will be here, it will be red with opacity of 100, like this. Good. Okay, I do this, I apply, and so it's good. Now I have my small background, and last I will make it look, I want to make it look like some kind of button, so I'm gonna put a rounded corner like this up here. I think it's a bit better, maybe a bit too much percentage. Why not? Up. I'll do like this. Up. What? That's nice. Okay, so now I have a display of what I want. The text is maybe still a bit big. If I look at here, there are 2, for example. So a few all around with a few sequels. Okay, anyway. Okay, so I have my small alert. And now last thing I want to do, I want to make it so that when I click on an alert, I get a display of the details of this earthquake. So this will get a bit more complex. First thing I will need to do, I will need to bring more than just the magnitude at the level of my symbol. So I will need to edit the properties here, and I will add a string with the ID here. And okay, it should connect actually, probably automatically. I apply it. Okay, it's already connected it automatically. So now I'm going at the symbol level. So I have my symbol. I'm checking just the property to see yes. So the ID is brought here. Well, and so the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm going to create a small data grid to bring the data that I need. So I create this data grid. Right away, I will convert it to a symbol. I will call it all data. I'm calling it all data. I'm going to delete it for now. Up. And at the level of the bell, I will create what is called a callout. So callout is when you want something to be displayed when you pass on it. So callout I'm going to call on case of event. I will use this all data table as a symbol to be displayed. I'll put this connected more like this, and then you need to decide what are the events which will make it displayed or not. So you have this invoke thing here. So for this I want it to be shown when I click and to disappear when I unclick. So I'll do this, go to action, and I will bind on click on click off. I'm coming back here, and inside the callout I'm connecting the click on to show and the click off to unshow. Okay, so here we are. So if I click on it, it should show, but there is no data right now. And so now what I need to do is to edit the callout. So what I'm going to do here, first I need to edit the properties so that I bring the ID of the earthquake here. So I'm calling it ID. So I have it here. Good. So I have the bell data, the header and everything. And I'm going let me just go out of here. I'm getting back here. So I have the ID. I'm going to connect it to this ID which I have here. So the ID from this symbol goes to the symbol one level higher. So now I will have probably the ID inside the callout. So I'm going to edit the symbol. For now I have no data at all. So I'm going to create a data flow to get the data which I want inside the table. So I'm going to go to to data flow. I need to create a data flow for this specific item, and now I'm going to bring the data. So I will bring just one like this by example, and what I want that for each callout it opens the proper path of data. So here I see I have all the data exported from what I need. So I'll do this. What I will do, I will create something which is called concatenate. Actually, one input which I want will be this, the start of the path, and the second will be the ID, like this. Here it is. Good. So now I have this path. This output is a proper path. This is the path I'm gonna use here. And now, okay, it's good. I'm loading the proper data. So what we see is that we have a path for each point, but I don't have yet the data amount. So here I need to create what is called a repeater. So here again is when you want to do several times the same task. So we'll create a repeater which will go inside each pass to pick up the data. So I have this data here. I'm going to create a new symbol, which I have a symbol remaining from previous called load value. So which, let me just show you how it looks like. So we just
load value with a path, there is path, and the value which is brought back. So
I'm going just to use that one. So that I'm choosing this load value. Up have the path and value. So for the path, I'm picking up the path here, which will go pick up this, and the value gets displayed at the end. So here we have the path and value, and the last thing I need to do is to get a table with only name and value. So for this, there is a function called join to join table together. So in this specific case, I will get the value from the table here, another from here. I'm going to join them through row. Okay, so here I have all the paths plus the value at the end, and now I want to keep only the column name and value. So I'm picking this up, input, and I want name and value. Okay, so it's good. I have this here. Once again, I have maybe too much data, so I'm gonna keep only some of the rows which are the most interesting for me. So here I will go to select row, and I'll get the table as input. And in terms of index, I'm gonna keep, let's see what I'm gonna keep. I will take them in order. I will take the title, so I will take 15, 15, 13 is interesting, 15, 13, then maybe 1, 3. I can to end by this. So 15, 13, 1, 3. I think the 10 was interesting as well. Hermes. 6, I'll take naturally 6, 11 maybe. I think this would be good. 6, 11, good. So I have my end table with title, timestamp, depth, its tsunami, magnitude, significance. Okay, I think let's say it will be good for now. So now I have my data properly formatted, and I'm going to use this data in my table. So I just drag and drop like this to the data section here, up. So I have the table. I'm going to just display the data in a proper color. Actually, I will more simpler. I'll just put the background black up so that we see well. I apply. Maybe I will remove row to make sure we keep only what we need. So name, value. Here we are. Here we have a small up. So then we need to adjust as well the width and this type of thing. I don't know, maybe I will not take time to do this right now. I'll just apply it, and if I get back on click, I have so my table appearing, and here, okay, I have small issues that it doesn't display exactly the way I would like, because here, okay, here is good, so I'm clicking on it to make it disappear. Okay, so this, then you need to adjust the format, the size, the display. This is another few minutes of adjustment. So this was an example of how you can deal with it. I'm going to just make small adjustment here so that when we are in callout, you have also an option for the callout to disappear after some time as well. So I'm just going to edit that. Okay, so this was a small example of how to connect data to a map and display it. A small add-on to this video, I'm going to show you something a bit more sophisticated, which can be done with maps as well. So here's a map with the earthquake which I created, and I want to show you another map which I did, with weather data. So I accessed a database of open weather data, so it looks basically like this in my data part of DGLux. I can create tracker for the cities which I want. So here I have Amsterdam, different cities which I display already. For each cities I can as well ask for the forecast weather data for coming days, so that's another function. And so I use this function to create this dashboard, which I'm going to present you a bit more in detail now. So what I'm doing with this data is that I'm displaying weather over several cities in the world. When I click on the city, I have a request sent to give me the forecast data on the city over the coming days, temperatures and humidity. When I re-click, I remove. If I do a right click on the location, I will remove as well the point. On the top left menu here, I can add as well new cities. So if I do Krakow, it's adding me the city here, and I have as well this chart with the weather. So that's an example of something slightly more sophisticated which can be done, because we generate actually a complex chart when we click on the information, but the logic is the same. We just connect data to visualize in the map, and then we create different level of symbols to access this information when people click or do other actions on the map. So here it is for today. If you have some questions, please ask in comments. If you are interested in getting support for creating your dashboard, please contact us. Thank you.